The night has wrapped itself around the world, quiet and gentle, like a soft blanket laid upon the earth. I feel myself slowly stepping away from the noise of the day, as if I am walking down a peaceful stone path leading into an ancient Zen temple hidden beneath whispering pine trees. The air is cool, calm, and full of sacred stillness. As I enter this space within myself, I greet you here. In this sanctuary of peace, where only silence, breath, and soft moonlight exist, you have arrived exactly where you need to be. Whatever happened today, whatever weighed on your heart, whatever thoughts followed you like shadows, they are loosening now. I can feel the energy shift. I can feel the world soften around us. Tonight, we breathe together, we rest together, and we drift into a timeless, peace-like monks resting beneath the soft glow of lanterns in a mountain monastery. For a moment, I simply sit in stillness with you. There is nothing to fix, nothing to fear, nothing to rush toward. The body knows how to rest. The soul knows how to return home. And tonight, that journey has already begun. Slowly, I inhale, feeling cool air travel through my nose, filling my chest, and I breathe out softly, letting all tension dissolve like mist evaporating in the morning sun. Inhale gently, as if receiving a quiet blessing from the universe, and exhale peacefully, releasing every burden you've been carrying. Each breath feels like a doorway opening to serenity. Each breath feels like ancient temple bells echoing in the distance, reminding us that peace is not something we chase. Peace is something we return to. I imagine myself sitting by a small wooden window overlooking a silent garden. A candle flickers beside me, its flame steady and calm, and I can hear a small stream outside flowing effortlessly over stones. With every breath, I feel myself drawn deeper into this world's simple, pure, safe where I have nothing to prove, nothing to fear, nothing to perform. Just presence, just breath, just being, and I whisper softly to my own heart, you are safe now. You are allowed to rest. You have done enough for today. A warm quiet fills my chest, like soft, golden light settling inside me. I realize that in this moment, I am not alone in my stillness. You are here with me. We sit together, breathing like monks beneath a moonlit sky. The night accepts us. The earth supports us, and the mind begins to loosen its grip, unwind, soften, surrender. Slow breath in, feeling a gentle expansion in my chest. Slow breath out, releasing everything I no longer need. I feel the muscles in my shoulders melt. My jaw loosens. My thoughts slow to a gentle hum, like a calm breeze flowing through bamboo leaves. There is no effort here, no pressure, just the comfort of simply existing. The world may be wide, chaotic, fast, but right now, there is only this sacred stillness, like a temple hidden in the mountains, where time itself bows down and becomes silent. A gentle truth rises inside me like moonlight rising above the horizon. Rest is holy. Breath is sacred. Stillness is healing. I breathe again, slow and deep, and I notice how the body responds, grateful for permission to soften. I allow my mind to release all stories, all worries, all expectations. I imagine them drifting away like lanterns floating on a quiet river under a star-filled sky. Each lantern carries a piece of my day, a thought, a weight, a memory, and the river carries them gently away into the night. Another breath, slow and loving. I feel peace beginning to settle in like gentle fog rolling across a silent mountain valley. Tonight, I do not force sleep. I invite it kindly and patiently, like a friend. And as I sit in this sacred quiet with you, I trust that rest is already arriving, already curling around us like warm, soft clouds. The body knows. The soul remembers. Peace is our nature. And so, I simply continue to breathe, slow, deep, calm, anchored in stillness, wrapped in moonlight, surrounded by timeless tranquility. The night carries me like a gentle tide, and I surrender gracefully, peacefully to rest, far in the quiet fold of a mountain range, where clouds drift low enough to kiss the tops of ancient cedars. I once walked upon a narrow stone path that led me to a hidden monastery. I remember the way my footsteps echoed softly, as though the earth itself was whispering with me, urging me to move gently, slowly, with reverence. The world below was distant noise, its rush, its expectations all washed away by the mountain wind and the endless hush of towering trees. Up here, time felt different, softer, kinder, more patient. I had come seeking peace, though at that moment I hardly understood peace at all. I carried with me a restless heart, a mind clouded with desires and disappointments, regrets and hopes tangled together like vines. And yet, something within me, a tired voice, but sincere, kept repeating, "There must be more than this." It was that whisper that brought me here, step by step, breath by breath, to the dwelling of a serene mountain monk, whose presence alone was known to bring quiet to even the most troubled spirit. He lived in a small hut, simple and humble, built from wood and stone, with a roof covered in moss that shimmered softly in the morning dew. The smoke from his small hearth curled into the air like prayer threads rising toward heaven. When I reached the clearing, he was sitting on a smooth, flat rock, eyes closed, hands resting gently on his knees, breathing in complete harmony with the world around him. A gentle breeze lifted the loose edges of his robe, and I remember thinking he looked less like a man and more like part of the mountain itself, fruited, unmoving, ageless. I stood there for a long moment, unsure whether to speak or wait. But before I could decide, his eyes opened, not abruptly, not startled, but softly, like petals of a lotus unfurling at dawn. And when his gaze met mine, I felt something quiet inside me loosen, as though tension I had forgotten I was carrying dissolved into the wind. "You have come far," he said, his voice like still water flowing gently over smooth stones. "I seek peace," I whispered, though hearing my own voice there felt strange. It sounded small in the vastness of that mountain air. He smiled, a smile of amusement, nor pity, but gentle recognition. Like someone who has heard the same longing countless times and knows its root intimately. "Everyone seeks peace," he replied, "but peace is not found by seeking. Peace is revealed when seeking ends." But the monk simply gestured for me to sit beside him. I obeyed. The rock was cool beneath me, and the wind carried the fragrance of pine and wild herbs. For a time, we simply sat together in silence. And though I did not yet understand why, I felt strangely safe, like time had paused, like the mountain itself was sheltering my heart. "Tell me," the monk said after a while, "what burdens your spirit?" I breathed slowly, feeling emotions stir inside me like waking embers. "I am always trying," I confessed. "Trying to be better, trying to be enough, trying to please others, trying to succeed, trying not to fail. And the harder I try, the heavier everything feels." The monk listened, not interrupting, not judging. When I finished, he closed his eyes for a moment, as if honoring the weight of what I had spoken. "A bird does not try to fly," he murmured. "It simply opens its wings." I looked down at my hands, unsure what to say. He continued, "You are doing too much. Even when you are still, your heart is busy. You do not need to become peaceful. You simply need to stop becoming tired." His words settled slowly in my mind, like snowflakes drifting until they find a place to rest. A part of me wanted to resist, to ask how, to demand a process. But another part of me, the deeper, quieter part, felt as though it already knew the truth in what he said. The monk stood then and motioned for me to follow him. We walked down a narrow path to a stream that trickled through smooth, rounded stones. The water was so clear that every pebble beneath shone like polished jade beneath the ripples. He knelt and cupped a handful of water, letting it fall back gracefully. See how the water flows, he said. It does not force itself to move. It does not rush to reach the sea. It simply follows the path given to it, without resistance. I watched the water dance between stones, effortless and free. Sit here, he said, and breathe with the water. I sat at the stream's edge, closed my eyes, and listened. The water's rhythm was gentle and steady, and I began to match my breath to its sound. Inhale with its rising whisper, exhale with its fading hum. Slowly, softly, without effort. At first, my thoughts still fluttered, quiet protests, old anxieties, habitual planning, but with each breath, they grew fainter, like birds flying farther and farther away. Minutes passed, maybe hours. I don't know. Time felt irrelevant, dissolved like morning mist melting into sunlight. The mountain held me. The stream carried me. The breeze brushed my skin like a blessing from something ancient and compassionate. I felt myself returning not to a place, but to a softness inside my own being that I had forgotten. When I finally opened my eyes, the monk was sitting nearby, watching the trees sway gently in the wind. I felt lighter, not because anything had been solved or achieved, but because, for the first time in a very long time, I was not trying to hold on to anything. I was simply breathing, you see, he said, without looking at me. Peace is not a peak to climb. Peace is the valley you return to when you stop climbing. A quiet warmth filled my heart. Tears gathered in my eyes, not from sadness, but from the relief of remembering something I had once known but lost along the way. That life does not demand struggle to be meaningful. That I do not need to earn rest. That peace is not something distant, but something already within me, always waiting beneath the noise. Before I left, the monk placed a small stone in my hand. Smooth, cool, simple. Carry this, he said, not to remind you of me, but to remind you of yourself. When you feel lost again, you will hold it, breathe, and remember the mountain. Remember the stream. Remember the moment you stopped trying and simply existed. I still have that stone. Even now, as night settles softly around me and sleep approaches like a gentle tide, I hold it in my memory, and I breathe slowly, easily, like a mountain monk beneath the open sky, where peace is not something I chase, but something I come home to tonight. As I rest, I feel that same mountain air brushing my spirit. I feel the quiet presence of that monk, not beside me, but within me. His lesson lingers, patient and warm. You are already enough. Breath by breath, peace is yours. And in stillness, the world returns to softness. So I close my eyes, let my thoughts float away like clouds drifting over the mountain peak. And I surrender not out of effort, but out of trust. The night cradles me. Silence welcomes me. And like the water, I let myself simply flow into rest. There was a quiet morning long ago when I first saw the lotus pond hidden behind a small bamboo gate in the monastery grounds. The world was cool with dawn, and a pale silver mist floated across the garden like a soft dream, not yet ready to leave the earth. My feet felt light on the stone path, as though each step was being guided by something gentle and ancient, something that whispered, "Come see what waits beyond stillness." When I reached the pond, I stood breathless. Dozens of lotus flowers floated upon the water, their petals glistening with dew, opening themselves to the newborn light. Some were still tight in their buds, some half-bloomed, and some already wide and full, resting proudly above the dark surface, if they held secrets of the universe in their calm, beautiful silence. The surface of the water was so still that every lotus seemed to float between two worldsits, reflection below and its gentle body above, bridging earth and quiet heaven. I remember thinking, how can something so delicate rise from muddy water, so pure, so untouched by what lies beneath? I had carried so much with me when I arrived at the monastery, memories that clung to me like thick vines, regrets that whispered in my chest, heartbreaks I believed time had healed, but whose roots still tightened around my spirit. I thought I had let them go, but standing at that pond, I felt their weight inside me again, like stones resting at the bottom of a river. The old monk joined me, as if he had been expecting this moment. He walked slowly, his sandals barely making a sound on the earth. When he stood beside me, he did not speak at first. He simply looked at the lotus flowers with a soft smile, as though greeting dear friends. "You see the lotus," he finally said, voice low like temple bells in the morning fog. "It grows in mud, yet it rises untouched. It does not cling to the water. It does not hold the mud on its petals. It simply lets go." His words settled gently inside me, yet something restless stirred too. I whispered, "I have tried to let go of my past. I release it again and again, but it returns." The monk turned his gaze toward me, not with disappointment, but with compassion so deep that I felt my chest soften. "Letting go," he murmured, "is not a single act. Letting go is a life practice. The mind remembers, the heart holds, but the spirit learns to release breath by breath, day by day, season by season." He pointed toward a lotus bud still tightly closed. "That one has not opened yet. It does not rush. It waits. Letting go is like blooming. It unfolds when the heart is ready." I closed my eyes and took a slow breath. The air tasted clean, cool, filled with a scent of dew and early morning blossoms. The monk continued, "Tell me what you cling to." I did not want to speak it, but the quiet of that place, the gentle water, the soft light, the ancient peace invited honesty. I hold on to pain from those I loved, I whispered. I hold on to mistakes I made. I hold on to moments when life felt heavy and unfair. And when I try to release them, it feels as though part of me goes with them. And so I cling. The monk nodded, as though he knew this sorrow well. To cling is human, he said. To let go is freedom. But freedom is not force. It is surrender. His fingers brushed a lotus petal so lightly that even the air seemed to pause. You do not rip the past away. You loosen it gently, like petals falling when they have bloomed. He motioned for me to sit by the pond, and I lowered myself onto a smooth stone. The water before me mirrored the sky so perfectly that it felt like I was staring into the heart of stillness itself. "Close your eyes," he whispered. "Breathe with the lotus." And so I did. Slow breath in. The world expands. Slow breath out. The world dissolves into peace. I imagined each memory I held, every pain, every regret, every self-doubt, a closed lotus bud inside me. I did not push them away. I simply sat with them. I watched them gently float, like petals resting on a quiet pond. Some wanted to open, some did not, and that was okay. The monk spoke again, softly, like the wind moving through the bamboo. Let go, not by force, but by trust. Trust that life changes. Trust that hearts heal. Trust that peace returns like the dawn, no matter how long the night. A single lotus petal fell onto the water before me, and I watched it float away with the slightest ripple, carried without struggle, without resistance. And something inside me loosened just a little, but truly, I whispered into the stillness, "I forgive." Not fully, not perfectly, but honestly. The monk smiled, hearing my voice soften. "Forgiveness," he said, "is not a gift you give to others. It is the water that cleans your own roots." I felt warmth spread across my chest, slow and gentle, like sunlight stretching across a sleeping valley. A tear slipped down my cheek, not from sorrow, but from release. It fell silently, like a dewdrop joining the pond. The monk placed his hand lightly on my shoulder. Not heavy, not guiding, just present. "Every lotus blooms in its own time," he whispered. "Do not rush your healing. Do not judge your pace. Every breath you release is a petal freed." And so we sat together in silence, listening to the soft rustle of morning wind, the quiet hum of life awakening around us. The lotus pond shimmered in the early sun, each flower floating effortlessly in the simple truth of being. I realized then that letting go is not forgetting. Letting go is remembering without holding tight. Letting go is opening space inside yourself where peace can enter. Letting go is trusting that the heart knows how to heal, just as the lotus knows how to rise from the mud without carrying the mud with it. As I rose to leave, I bowed gently toward the lotus pond, honoring not only its beauty, but the lesson it offered me without a single word spoken. Tonight, as I rest, I feel those lotus petals inside me against some still opening, some still waiting, and I do not force them. I breathe with them. I honor them. I trust their timing, because every part of me, even the parts I once tried to hide, is blooming slowly toward peace. And like the lotus, I rise not by effort, but by allowing myself to, not by holding on, but by letting go, breath by breath. Night by healing night, there came a day during my time in the mountains when the silence around me felt different, warm, like sunlight passing through old paper windows. I had learned to breathe with the wind, to sit with my thoughts, to feel the lotus of release opening slowly inside me. But peace, the monk once said, is not only found in stillness. True peace blooms in the heart through kindness, like a quiet lantern illuminating the world, one gentle act at a time. It was early afternoon when I followed a stone path leading away from the lotus pond, deeper into a grove of cedar trees. Their trunks stood tall like guardians of ancient truths, and the ground beneath them felt soft, padded with fallen needles. The breeze carried a sweet, earthy scent, and birds sang from branches above, light and playful. Ahead, I saw the monk slowly sweeping fallen leaves from the temple walkway, each movement calm and deliberate. He did not sweep as if cleaning. He swept as if blessing the ground with his presence. I approached quietly, and he paused, leaning lightly on the broom handle. "You walk lighter now," he said with a small smile. "Your heart is learning the weightlessness of release." I bowed my head slightly, humbled by the truth of his words. "I am trying," I whispered. He shook his head gently. "Trying is effort. Kindness is natural. Compassion is breath. When you stop trying to be peaceful and simply live with a gentle heart, peace follows." I stood beside him, watching fallen leaves drift to the ground. A memory stirred inside me, faces from my past, times when I had been hurt, moments when I wished I had responded with softness instead of defense. "What is the true path?" I asked quietly. "How do I know I am walking it?" He lifted the broom with both hands and placed it against the temple wall. Then he turned to me fully, his eyes clear, not sharp, but present in a way that made the air feel sacred. "The path," he said softly, "is kindness. The destination is compassion. Peace is what blossoms where they are planted." He motioned for me to walk with him, and together we moved down a narrow trail lined with moss and wildflowers. In the distance, a gentle stream murmured and sunlight filtered through leaves, scattering gold across the forest floor. "You seek enlightenment," he continued as we walked. "Many believe enlightenment is a bright flash, a great revelation. But most enlightenment arrives quietly, like morning light, soft, warm, unnoticed, until suddenly everything is clear." He paused beside a small stone statue of a bodhisattva's, features simple, serene, worn smooth by wind and rain. Someone had placed a single wildflower before it, humble yet beautiful. "A compassionate heart does not need grand gestures," he said. "A kind word can change a moment. A gentle act can change a day. A pure intention can change a life. And a life lived with compassion can change the world quietly, invisibly, like the roots of a tree that hold the earth steady." We sat on a wooden bench overlooking the valley. I watched birds circle lazily in the sky, and far below, a small village lay nestled between rolling hills. Smoke lifted from chimneys, soft and slow, like prayers rising into the vastness. There were days, I admitted, voice low, when I felt like kindness made me weak, when being gentle felt like losing, when compassion felt like leaving myself vulnerable. The monk listened, his face calm like a lake untouched by wind. "Kindness does not make you weak," he said. "But expecting kindness in return creates suffering. Compassion that seeks reward is a transaction, not a virtue." He lifted his hand and let a fallen petal rest on his palm. "Real compassion," he continued, "expects nothing. It is not softness toward others first. It begins with softness toward yourself." I felt his words settle into me like seeds falling on fertile soil. My breaths deepened, and my heart felt tender and open. "How do I begin?" I whispered. He placed a hand on his chest. "With yourself. Speak gently to your own heart. Forgive your past. Comfort your wounds. Celebrate small victories. Guide your thoughts like a patient teacher, not with harshness, but with understanding." As he spoke, I remembered moments when I judged myself, pushed myself, resented myself for not being enough, not healing fast enough, not moving perfectly through life. I felt a quiet ache, the kind that brings healing with it. We returned to the temple gate later that afternoon, and as we stepped inside, we saw a small sparrow lying on the ground, its wing trembling, injured. Without hesitation, the monk knelt down, his hands steady and gentle. He whispered something soft words I could not hear and lifted the tiny bird with tenderness, cradling it as if it were a fragile treasure. "We cannot save all suffering," he murmured, "but where we can ease even one breath of pain, compassion becomes prayer." He carried the bird to a shaded corner of the garden and placed it in a small nest of leaves and cloth. He offered food and water, then sat beside it quietly, as though lending it his peace. The sparrow relaxed, breath slowing, body no longer tense with fear. Watching him, I realized compassion wasn't grand or dramatic. It was presence. It was patience. It was being there fully for whatever life offered. It was the willingness to hold another being's pain without drowning in it. It was the courage to be gentle in a world that often rewards hardness. Later, as the sky turned soft with dusk, the monk handed me a cup of warm tea. We sat in silence, the sky fading from gold to rose to deep, quiet blue. Fireflies began to drift through the garden like tiny wandering stars. "Do not strive to be important," he said, finally. "Strive to be kind. Importance fades, but kindness echoes through time like footsteps on sacred earth." I closed my eyes and felt the truth wrap around me like a warm shawl. In that moment, I understood something I had always known but never lived deeply enough. Kindness is strength. Compassion is courage. A gentle heart is not unprotected, is held by the universe, nurtured by truth, guided by love. And as the first stars appeared, I whispered a promise to myself and to the night. I will choose softness, not as surrender, but as power. I will choose kindness, not as duty, but as nature. I will choose compassion, not only for others, but for myself. Because peace is not a destination reached by force. Peace blossoms where kindness roots itself deeply. Peace lives where compassion breathes freely. Peace grows where hearts are brave enough to remain open. Even after hurting tonight, as I lie down to rest, I feel that softness filling my chest, steady and warm. I feel the world gentling around me, not because it has changed, but because I am changing within it. I will wake tomorrow with a heart that chooses kindness again and again. Not perfectly, but sincerely, and with each breath, each gentle thought, each quiet act of compassion, I walk the true path, not high above the earth, but deeply rooted in it, like a lantern lighting, one step at a time, guiding myself and others toward peace. There came a morning in the mountains when the air felt unusually still, as if the world itself had paused to listen for something sacred. The sky wore a soft gray robe of clouds, and mist draped gently over the hills like silk laid across resting earth. I had spent so many days at the monastery by then, breathing, learning, loosening the knots of my heart, one thread at a time. But on that morning, the monk called for me with a tone quieter than usual. Yet deeper somehow, though, the day carried an important lesson. He motioned for me to follow. And we walked silently through the forest, past bamboo groves and beneath tall pine trees. The earth was damp, leaves kissed with dew, and each step felt like entering a place where time did not flow forward, but simply rested. After a long walk, we reached a river broad, slow-moving, silent except for the soft whisper of water gliding over smooth stones. It was not a loud or forceful river. It did not roar or rush. It moved with patience, with ancient wisdom, accepting everything that fell into the drifting leaves, the fallen branches, even the occasional petal from wild blossoms leaning over its edge. The river did not struggle. It simply flowed. It simply was. The monk sat upon a large flat rock near the water's edge and beckoned me to sit beside him. I lowered myself onto the stone. It was cool beneath my palms, grounding me, anchoring me in the present moment. For many days, he began, you have learned to breathe. You have learned to let go. You have opened your heart to kindness. Now comes the hardest part of peace. I looked at him, waiting. Acceptance, he whispered. The quiet courage to allow life to be as it is. The river glimmered before us, carrying the reflection of the muted sky. I watched the water curve around stones with ease and grace. Wherever it met resistance, it changed shape, flowed around obstacles. But sometimes, acceptance feels like surrender, like giving up. The monk nodded slowly. That is because you confuse acceptance with helplessness. True acceptance is not giving up. True acceptance is letting go of the illusion of control. He dipped his hand into the river. Water slid gently through his fingers and continued on its way. To resist reality is to drown in it, he said. To accept it is to float above it. His words touched a tender place inside me, a place where I still fought life, where I still wished certain events had never happened. Certain people had stayed, certain years had unfolded differently. I felt the weight of all the realities I had resisted, losses I had held on to, changes I had feared, endings I had tried to undo in memory, conversations replayed in silence, wounds I wished I could rewrite. The monk closed his eyes. Tell me, he said quietly, what river inside you still rages? I took a long breath. I still wish some moments in my life had been different, I whispered. I still cling to versions of reality that never came to be. He listened without judgment. Grief, he said gently, is love searching for a place to rest. But sometimes love must rest in acceptance. We sat in silence, watching the river stretch like a flowing mirror between worlds. Time felt soft again. Thoughts slowed. My breath deepened. "Look at the water," the monk said. "It never says, 'This stone should not be here.' That branch should not have fallen. It simply flows around what is." I watched closely. A small leaf landed on the water, floating effortlessly. The river did not reject it. The river did not cling to it. It carried the leaf until wind or current or time gently released it again. "Acceptance," he continued, "is not passive. It is the greatest act of strength. It means trusting life more than your fears. It means trusting time more than your wounds." A quiet ache rose in my chest, not a painful ache, but a deep ache of recognition, of truth touching something raw and real inside me. "I want to accept," I whispered. "But how do I stop fighting what already happened?" He placed his hand over his heart, then over mine. "You do not need to stop fighting," he said softly. "You only need to notice when you are and return to gentleness. Just as a river returns to flow after touching the shore." A single droplet of water ran down his fingers back into the river. Every time you accept a moment, even a painful one, you soften the world. Every time you release resistance, even for a breath, you free yourself. He motioned to the riverbank. "Come," he said, "give your resistance to the water." I picked up a small, stone-smooth, round, cool. The monk nodded. "That stone is not for the river. It is for your heart. Speak your heaviness into it." So I closed my eyes and held the stone tightly. Inside it, I placed every why I still carried. Every, if only, every, not fair. Every, I wish life had gone differently. Tears rose, but this time did not sting. They felt like rain on thirsty soil. When I opened my eyes, the monk nodded gently toward the water. I placed the stone at the river's edge and let it go. It sank quietly, without splash, and disappeared into the calm depths. The river accepted it without question, without judgment, without effort, and in that same moment, I felt something shift inside me, very small, very subtle, but unmistakable. Not a dramatic release, not a sudden enlightenment, just a quiet loosening, like a tire not finally learning it doesn't need to stay tight. We sat there until the clouds thinned and sunlight touched the surface of the water. The monk stood slowly. "Acceptance," he said softly, "is not one moment. It is many. It is remembering each day that the river flows, whether you fight the current or float with it." We walked back to the monastery in silence, and for the first time, silence did not feel empty. Silence felt full of truth, full of breath, full of life, moving not in straight lines, but in gentle, sacred curves. That night, as I lie down to rest, I feel the river inside me. I feel the current not resisting, just flowing. And I whisper to myself, as though comforting a younger version of who I once was. I accept what has been. I accept what is. I trust what will come, not because everything is perfect, but because I no longer need perfection to be at peace. Like the river, I move forward without force. Like the river, I carry only what must be carried. Like the river, I surrender not to defeat, but to peace, and slowly, silently, gently, I drift into rest, held by acceptance, washed clean by stillness, carried by the quiet current of life toward a peaceful dream where nothing needs to change for everything to be beautiful. The temple rests beneath a sky brushed with silver light, and I feel myself stepping once again into the quiet embrace of night. The world around me has grown still, as if every tree, every stone, every whisper of wind has bowed in deep reverence to the moon's gentle glow. I walk slowly through the courtyard of this ancient sanctuary, my footsteps barely touching the polished wooden floor, as though the earth itself wishes not to disturb my peace. The air is cool and soft, like a calm breath from the mountains. A lantern flickers somewhere nearby its light, warm, humble, not demanding attention, but offering it. I pause and feel its glow resting on my skin, delicate as a feather, and I realize how precious quietness is, how sacred silence becomes when night falls kindly around the heart. I inhale deeply, feeling the crisp night air fill my chest, and I exhale like I'm releasing centuries of tension from my soul. In the moonlit stillness, there is no such thing as past or future. There is only this gentle now, this moment where the thoughts soften, like snowflakes melting on warm palms. My journey takes me along a path lined with smooth river stones. Bamboo rustles lightly in the breeze, and wind chimes hanging beneath a temple beam sing soft notes, like distant stars humming ancient lullabies. With each sound, I feel myself sinking deeper into serenity, not pushed or forced, but soothed. Like a child being guided toward dreams by loving whispers, I reach the temple's meditation garden, where a moonlit pond rests like a mirror holding the sky. The water is still, undisturbed, as if time itself has paused to breathe. White blossoms float across the surface, drifting so quietly that even the night seems to listen. I kneel by the pond, feeling the cool earth beneath me, grounding me gently like a comforting hand placed on the heart. A soft inner voice rises within me, the same gentle guide that has whispered to monks for centuries. The same voice that hums beneath every breath we take, every heartbeat. It speaks without words, yet I feel it clearly. Here you are safe. Here you may rest. Here the world releases its grip on you. I place my hands on my lap, spine tall, yet relaxed, shoulders soft as clouds. The moonlight touches my face, and I feel it like a blessing. I close my eyes, and the world behind my eyelids glows with silver calm. I begin to breathe with the night. Inhale like drawing in peace from the heavens. Exhale like releasing every story, every worry. Every weight I have carried in my body grows heavier, yet lighter at the same time, rooted in the earth, yet floating in a sea of stillness. Each breath feels like sacred water washing through me, clearing the pathways of my spirit. The thoughts that wander into my mind soften like petals in gentle rain, then drift away without struggle. There is no judgment here, no failure, no pressure to be anything other than what I am in this quiet moment. The moon, the temple, the still pond, the whispering bamboo, they do not ask me to be perfect. They simply welcome me just as I am. In the distance, I hear a low, soothing hum from a monk's chanting hall. The voice is steady, ancient, and full of compassion. Rather than hearing the words, I feel them, like a vibration traveling through the earth, rising through my body, settling in my heart. Every chant, every tone feels like a reminder. You do not need to chase peace. Peace is already within you. I feel my breath deepen again. The body relaxes further, muscles unwinding like threads loosening from a weave. My jaw unfolds itself, my shoulders fall softly, and my chest expands with gentle freedom. The stillness grows, stretching silently through the night, filling me from within. If thoughts arrive, they arrive softly. If emotions appear, they appear like passing clouds. Everything flows. Nothing clings. Nothing needs to be changed. The moon continues to glow above me, a silent guardian, ancient and patient. I imagine its light moving through my body, starting at the crown of my head like cool silk, flowing down through my forehead, my eyes, my cheeks, the light smoothing tension like calm hands caressing tired skin. It moves down my neck, releasing invisible burdens I didn't know I was still holding. Down my shoulders, melting weight like snow under morning sun. Down my back, clearing the river of energy that flows through me, steady and quiet. Down my arms, my hands, my fingers, soft, warm, peaceful. Through my chest, gentle warmth expands like a lantern being lit within. My heart feels soft, open, and safe, as though the universe has wrapped it in silk and whispered, "You belong. You are enough." Down through my abdomen, my hips, my legs, all the way to the soles of my feet, where the moonlight sinks into the earth beneath me, grounding me in a place beyond time. The garden breathes. The pond reflects eternity. The bamboo sways in rhythm with my quiet heart. I feel so deeply embraced by this night, by this gentle temple, by the whispers of mountains and sky. I realize I am not seeking peace, I am remembering it. I am not entering stillness, I am returning to it. This moment, this breath, this softness, it is home. I surrender to it like a leaf floating effortlessly on still water. But by grace, if sleep begins to rise like fog around me, I welcome it without reaching or resisting. If my mind drifts, it drifts into realms of dreams shaped from moonlight and ancient wisdom. I feel myself almost dissolving into the night air, not lost, but merged, as though my soul is made of the same quiet light that fills the temple. The sky, the water, the world. Nothing is separate now. Nothing is wrong. Nothing needs to happen next. I am held. I am peaceful. I am resting in the arms of the universe, and as my breath becomes slower, softer, almost like the slow tide kissing the shore, I whisper silently to myself, I am allowed to rest. I am allowed to be calm. I am allowed to let go. Wrapped in the gentlest quiet the world has ever known, until sleep approaches not as a force, but as a friend. And as I drift deeper into the warm night of the temple, the moon watches over me, the earth holds me, and peace becomes not a dream, but my reality. The night has grown even softer now, like velvet laid gently across the world. The air feels warmer, quieter, almost sacred in its stillness, as if every star above is holding its breath, watching over this final moment of peaceful surrender. I can feel myself resting deeper than before, my body sinking into comfort, my breath becoming thin as silk, light as a feather drifting down from the heavens. The temple, the garden, the moonlit pond, they all remain with me, not as places outside, but as quiet sanctuaries within my own heart. I feel the world loosening its hold. Every thought that once tugged at me now floats away, so effortlessly, like lanterns releasing into the night sky, one by one. Each floating lantern carries away a memory of struggle, a little stress, a little fear, a little doubt. They rise slowly, gently, glowing like stars, born from human hope. And soon they disappear into the deep horizon of peace. I whisper inwardly, a soft truth that feels ancient and familiar. Nothing holds me now. Nothing pulls me. Nothing weighs on me. I am drifting, not falling, floating, not sinking. My breath is slow and kind. My body feels like it is made of warm clouds, dissolving into comfort, becoming lighter with every exhale. My muscles have forgotten how to hold tension. My thoughts have forgotten how to rush. My heart beats softly like a temple drum, touched only once every few moments, slow and calm, echoing through the silent chambers of my soul. The moon still shines somewhere above, but I no longer need to look. I can feel its light inside me now, a gentle glow spreading through my chest, through my arms, my legs, my fingertips, and drifting out beyond my skin like soft mist. I feel merged with the night, no longer separate, no longer trying, simply being. This stillness is not emptiness, is fullness, warm and sacred, full of peace that feels as old as existence itself. I breathe again, and my breath feels like a quiet blessing. In, a wave of calm enters. Out, the last remnants of the day melt away completely. I imagine monks walking silently somewhere in the distance, their robes brushing stone, their lanterns glowing faintly, their hearts as peaceful as sleeping mountains. I imagine the rustle of bamboo, the hush of temple bells, the hum of prayer carried quietly through the night. And all these sounds, though faint, feel like lullabies given by the universe itself. No rush, no fear, no effort, only softness. Sleep is close now, like a friend sitting beside me, waiting with patience and kindness. It doesn't force itself. It arrives like mist rolling over a still lake, like dawn creeping quietly behind mountains. I can feel it around me, warm like a blanket, gentle like a mother's hand on a child's hair. My mind begins to loosen from waking thoughts, slipping into the slow, sweet rhythm of dreams. If a thought flickers, it fades like a spark in a deep, dark forest. If a feeling stirs, it settles again, like leaves floating down to rest on soft moss. The world inside me feels like a quiet temple chamber, lit only by moonlight, fast, peaceful, sacred. Each breath becomes softer still, slower, quieter, like the final notes of a sacred song. I whisper softly inside myself, a final invitation. It is time to rest deeply. It is safe to surrender. I deserve this peace. My eyelids feel heavy, my limbs warm and still. Even the air around me seems to thicken into comfort, holding me gently like water holds a floating leaf. My thoughts stretch out into infinity, becoming soft threads weaving into dreams. I feel myself drifting slowly, beautifully, into a world where only warmth, softness, and silence exist. The night wraps me completely. The world fades, the body sleeps, the soul stretches into starlight. I let go once more, deeper this time, sinking into softness like a feather falling through clouds. My breath now whispers instead of moves. My heartbeat is a quiet drum in a faraway temple, and my mind has become still as a moonlit lake. If I listen closely, I can hear the universe breathing with me. Slow, calm, endless. I am not separate from it. I am part of its silence, part of its peace, part of its eternal night. A final soft whisper rises like incense in the heart. Rest now. Sleep deeply. You are safe. You are loved. You are home. Sleep arrives like gentle waves, touching the shore soft, rhythmic, eternal. And I drift with them, carried effortlessly into dreams made of moonlight and temple bells. Into rest so deep and pure that time dissolves and only peace remains. My breath fades into silence. My thoughts fade into stillness, and I drift deeper and deeper and deeper into the warm, quiet ocean of sleep. Good night, gentle soul. May your rest be vast. May your dreams be light. May your heart wake renewed with dawn. Now, sleep. Sleep deeply. Sleep peacefully like a monk beneath the moon, held by the universe, wrapped in endless tranquility, and let the night cradle you until morning comes softly with grace. I close my eyes with you now, as if we are sitting together in a quiet room where the night has already surrendered to peace. The world outside slowly fades, like candlelight softening in a gentle breeze. You are here, safe, and nothing can disturb this moment. Breathe with me, softly, without force. Inhale like the wind entering a silent bamboo forest. Exhale like the river releasing its ripples into stillness. There is no rush. There is only presence. There is only peace. I feel my shoulders soften, and I imagine a warm light gathering around us. It begins above our heads like a quiet blessing and slowly pours downward like golden rain. I allow it to touch the top of my head, my forehead, my closed eyes. With every breath, the light descends, melting tension, dissolving thoughts. My chest loosens, my stomach softens, my heart opens as though a lotus is blooming inside, petal by petal. I do nothing to help it. I only allow. The night hums like a sacred mantra. Far away, a soft wind moves through ancient trees, as if whispering wisdom carried by monks from forgotten temples. I feel as if I am sitting at the entrance of a monastery deep in the mountains, lanterns glowing, incense floating in the air. I can sense tranquility stretching across the horizon like a slow-moving cloud. My breath follows it, slow and steady, calm and deep. I remind myself gently, I am not here to fight with my thoughts. They are not enemies. They are like small birds flapping their wings at dusk. I watch them and I let them fly away, one by one, into the night sky. My only task is to rest, to receive peace, to feel my spirit loosen from today's weight. It feels as though time itself pauses and bows in respect to this silence. I take another breath, soft, effortless. It enters like cool moonlight slipping through temple windows. And as I exhale, I release every burden I carried today. Worry flows out like dust swept by a gentle hand. My past does not enter here. My future does not exist here. I am suspended in the purity of now, held by a silence that feels ancient and kind. Inside this quiet space, I begin to feel connected to something larger than myself. I imagine monks walking barefoot through the dawn mist, hands together, hearts calm, voices chanting blessings into the world. I imagine still mountains watching over us, rivers moving without hurry, lotus petals drifting across clear ponds. And somehow, without trying, I feel a part of that natural stillness. I inhale that peace, and I exhale gratitude. My breath deepens again. My body becomes heavier, softer, like it is sinking into a cloud. The light around us glows warmer, wrapping us like a blanket woven from quiet prayers and timeless serenity. There is no need to hold tension anymore. I surrender to softness. I surrender to peace. I surrender to the night, knowing it carries me gently like a wise monk guiding a weary traveler into rest. In this moment, I feel as though I am no longer speaking to you, resting with you, resting with you. There is no separation, only stillness, only a shared quietness between two souls who have stepped out of the world and into a sacred calm. I do not need to say much now. The silence speaks for me. The peace speaks for us both. One more breath together. A slow, nurturing inhale that reaches the heart. A warm, freeing exhale that lets everything go. The night welcomes us softly. We are ready to walk deeper into tranquility, step by gentle step, as time dissolves and the world falls quiet. I am here with you, and in this stillness, peace begins. I begin my journey slowly, stepping onto a narrow path carved into the mountainside. The earth beneath my feet, soft with moss and the scent of pine filling the air. The wind brushes gently against my skin, carrying whispers from the trees, as if they are sharing secrets of the old world. Each step I take feels deliberate, sacred, and somehow eternal. I imagine the mountain itself breathing with me, rising and falling, steady and patient, guiding me higher toward the temple that waits in silence as I climb. I notice the small details, the way sunlight slips through the pine needles, casting delicate patterns on the stones, the quiet trickle of a hidden stream, its waters singing a soft song of forgotten wisdom. I breathe in deeply, letting the mountain's calm enter me, and exhale slowly, releasing tension that I didn't even know I was carrying. I feel the stories of countless travelers who walked this path before me, each leaving a trace of devotion, a whisper of hope, a silent prayer carried away by the wind. The temple comes into view, its silhouette etched against the sky like an ancient guardian of serenity. Its wooden beams are worn with age, yet they radiate a quiet strength that feels alive. The doors, though closed, seem to breathe with history, each grain of wood telling a story. I step closer and I notice the faint scent of incense mingling with the crisp mountain air, a gentle invitation to leave behind the clamor of the world. I take another deep breath, imagining that with every inhale, I absorb the temple's timeless energy, and with every exhale, I release the remnants of distraction, fear, and restlessness inside. The temple is more than a building, it is a living presence. I walk slowly across the smooth, polished floor, my bare feet whispering against the wood. I see lanterns suspended from the ceiling, their flames flickering gently, as if breathing in rhythm with my own heartbeat. The walls are adorned with ancient scrolls and delicate paintings depicting monks in silent meditation, each image radiating peace and quietude. I feel the weight of centuries, yet it is not heavy. It is gentle, like the soft press of a loved one's hand on my shoulder, guiding me into stillness. I find a place to sit in the center of the temple, legs folded, back straight, yet entirely relaxed. I close my eyes and listen. There is a subtle hum here, a vibration that seems to come from the walls themselves, from the very wood and stone of the temple. It is not loud or intrusive, it is the quiet whisper of existence, of things that persist beyond time. I feel connected, as though my breath is one with the temples, moving in harmony with a rhythm older than any memory. Every inhale brings lightness, every exhale releases HEAVINESS. In this sacred space, I begin to sense the presence of monks who once walked these halls. Their spirits are not restless. They are calm, woven into the very air I breathe. I imagine their footsteps in the early dawn, their soft chants that rise and fall like the mountain winds. They guide me without words, teaching me through their silence. I feel my mind settling into the stillness, my heart expanding into quiet joy, a contentment that does not need explanation. I do not need to seek anything here. The temple itself offers all that is required: peace, presence, and a deep, unshakable calm. I allow myself to notice the smallest details, the way the sunlight dances across the floor, the soft crackle of the lanterns, the faint scent of aged wood mixed with incense. Each moment stretches, yet does not feel prolonged. It is perfect, complete, like a breath held at the exact right time. I feel gratitude blooming within me, not as words, but as a gentle warmth spreading through my chest. The temple teaches me that everything I need is already here, already within me. There is no striving, no grasping, only being, only presence, only the quiet acceptance of now. The whispers of the mountain and the temple merge. I hear them as soft guidance, reminding me to be gentle with myself, to honor the pace of my own journey. I imagine the wind outside, carrying away my doubts and fears, scattering them like leaves across the valley. Each inhalation draws serenity into my mind. Each exhalation releases all that does not serve me. I feel lighter, freer, as though I am becoming part of the mountain itself, rooted yet expansive, still yet alive. My breath moves effortlessly, a bridge between body and spirit, a rhythm that anchors me in this sacred present. I sit in stillness for a long while, observing thoughts as they arise and dissolve like mist over the mountains. No judgment, no need to engage, only awareness. Each thought that drifts by is acknowledged and then released, leaving space for clarity, for insight, for gentle understanding. I notice a profound simplicity in this practice, a purity that feels ancient and essential. The temple and I are united in a shared silence. Each exhale, a reaffirmation of trust in life's unfolding. Each inhale, a quiet embrace of all that is. Eventually, I feel a gentle warmth spreading from my core outward, a soft expansion that radiates through my entire being. I sense the temple not as an external place, but as a reflection of my inner world, a sanctuary I carry within. The whispers of the mountain are no longer separate from me. They flow through my veins, in every heartbeat, in every breath. I am awake, yet serene, aware, yet calm, present, yet free. The energy of the temple, the wisdom of the monks, the quiet strength of the mountain, they have become a part of me, guiding me into a deeper understanding of peace. I open my eyes slowly and let the light of the temple fill my vision. Each detail, every shadow, every beam, every flickering flames, perfect in its imperfection. I notice that even as I prepare to leave this sacred hall, the calm does not leave me. It has settled deep into my body, my mind, my spirit, a gift I can carry wherever I go. The mountain and temple, whispers and wind, have taught me that peace is not something to be found outside, is always within, waiting, patient, and eternal. I rise slowly, bowing gently to honor the space, the silence, and the timeless wisdom that flows quietly through all things. I step off the temple path, leaving the wooden halls behind, and find myself descending along a trail that curves gently toward a river valley below. The air grows softer here, humid with the scent of wet earth and flowering shrubs. I can hear it before I see it, the faint murmur of flowing water, steady, patient, eternal. The river has been here long before me, and it will continue long after. I approach it slowly, as if each step is an act of intention, a quiet offering to the present moment. I feel my shoulders begin to loosen, my mind shedding weight with every pace as I reach the riverbank. I notice how the water catches the light of the fading sun, shimmering with gold and silver streaks. The river moves without haste, curving gently around stones and fallen branches, creating ripples that dance and vanish. I kneel by the edge, letting my fingertips skim the surface. The water is cool, refreshing, and it carries a soft whisper, quiet message that begins to seep into me. I realize that the river does not struggle to flow. It does not resist obstacles. It simply moves forward, surrendering to the path that unfolds before it. I inhale, feeling the lessons sink deep into my bones, and exhale, imagining myself releasing everything that holds me back. I close my eyes and picture the burdens I have carried, the worries, regrets, anger, and fears that cling like shadows. One by one, I name them silently in my mind, acknowledging their presence, not with judgment, but with gentle awareness. Each thought, each feeling is a leaf I place on the river's surface. I watch as the current accepts them without resistance. The water takes them slowly, steadily, bending around stones, slipping past the banks, moving on its endless journey. I feel a strange relief, a lightness I have not known in days or even months. It is not that the river erases these burdens. They do not need erasure, but it teaches me to let go, to release them into the flow of life, trusting that all will find its way. The sounds of the river are hypnotic. The gentle splash of water over rocks, the soft rustle of reeds along the shore, the distant call of a birdlet, all blends into a symphony of calm. I notice that my own breath begins to align with the rhythm of the water. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Each breath carries a sense of surrender, each exhale a silent promise to release. I feel the river entering me, teaching me patience, teaching me humility, teaching me the quiet art of letting go. I stand and walk alongside the river, barefoot, feeling the cool soil and smooth pebbles beneath my feet. My shadow stretches long in the late afternoon light, merging with the gentle flow of the river beside me. I watch the water curve around obstacles effortlessly, and I realize how often I have resisted life's currents, holding tight to expectations, clinging to outcomes, and fearing change. Here, beside this endless, accepting river, I understand that letting go is not a loss. It is a reclamation of peace. The river does not need to grasp It does not need to resist, and neither do I. A soft breeze lifts strands of my hair, and I imagine it carrying away lingering tension. I pause at a wide bend in the river, where the water gathers into a calm pool, reflecting the sky like glass. I look into that reflection and see my own face softened by awareness, by the practice of release. There is a quiet smile in my eyes, not forced but natural, arising from the simple act of surrender. I notice how the river continues to flow, always forward, always present. And I realize that my own life, too, can move in such gentle rhythm. The worries of the past, the fears of the future, can all be placed upon the current and carried away without force or fear. I sit again by the water's edge, feeling the earth beneath me, solid and grounding. I imagine the river as a mirror reflecting not just my image, but the flow of my inner self. The current whispers softly, reminding me that everything I resist clings more tightly, and everything I release is free to transform. I take a deep breath, inhaling the cool air, the scent of wet stone and leaves, and I exhale, visualizing my burdens dissolving into the water. Each exhale is a leaf, a feather, a fragment of worry drifting downstream. I do not chase it, I do not grasp it, I allow it to journey onward naturally. The sun begins to dip lower, casting golden rays across the river, making it sparkle like 1,000 tiny lanterns floating in silence. I lie back on the soft grass, listening to the gentle murmurs of the water, feeling its cool presence reach into my body. The river seems to teach me that surrender is an act of courage, a conscious choice to trust life's flow rather than resist it. I feel my muscles relax completely, my mind becoming still, like the surface of the river in a quiet pool. The gentle rhythm of the water moves through me, carrying away tension, carrying away doubt, carrying me closer to a place of serenity I have longed for without even knowing. In this sacred stillness, I notice the small life around the river, the insects moving softly, the dragonflies skimming the water, the fish glimpsed under the clear surface, all participating in the effortless rhythm of existence. I understand that letting go is not an abandonment, but a harmonizing with the natural order. Just as the river accepts each stone, each branch, each leaf, so too can I accept the circumstances, emotions, and experiences that appear in my life. Each breath is a reminder that I am part of this vast, flowing existence. And that peace is found not in clinging, but in release. Time seems to slow as I follow the river's path. My mind quiet, my heart open. I feel gratitude for the gentle wisdom of water, for the patient, non-judgmental guidance it offers. The river has no agenda, yet everything it touches is transformed by its passage. I sense that my own mind can do the same, flowing without resistance, moving through obstacles with ease, embracing change, and releasing that which no longer serves me. I feel my spirit expand, filling with the river's rhythm, its acceptance, its grace. The evening deepens, and shadows stretch across the valley, blending with the rippling water. I lie back fully now, letting the earth hold me, letting the river teach me, letting the cool breeze carry me into complete surrender. I watch the water curve, fold, and spread, and I recognize that this is the art of living, flowing, yielding, yet infinitely strong. Each exhale carries more release. Each inhale draws peace deeper into me. I am a leaf on this river, a part of its journey, moving effortlessly with the current, letting go. And being free, I walk away from the river's edge, feeling its gentle wisdom still flowing within me, and make my way along a winding forest path. The trees lean close together, their branches forming a soft canopy that filters the evening light into a mosaic of shadows and amber glow. With each step, I feel a subtle calm settling deeper into my bones, a quiet strength growing in my chest. Somewhere ahead, I see a faint glow, flickering and warm, like a heartbeat in the darkness. Drawn to it, I walk toward it, sensing that it holds a story meant for me, a gift of light waiting to be discovered. The glow belongs to a small temple courtyard, modest yet alive with warmth. At its center hangs a single lantern, swaying gently in the night breeze. Its flame dances, throwing golden patterns onto the stone floor. I kneel nearby, absorbing the serene energy it radiates. It is not just light, it is kindness made visible, compassion made tangible. A quiet reminder that even a single flame can illuminate the darkness. I feel a sense of reverence settle over me, and I lower my gaze respectfully, understanding that this lantern has witnessed centuries of prayers, tears, and silent hopes. I sit cross-legged, my palms resting lightly on my knees, and allow myself to observe the lantern. Its flame is small, yet unwavering. It flickers with life, yet it does not falter. I imagine the countless souls who have come here before me, monks, travelers, villagers, each placing a wish or a blessing into its light. I feel the pulse of their intentions, a gentle vibration of love and care. And I realize that the lantern holds not only fire, but the essence of compassion itself. I inhale slowly, letting the warmth fill me, and exhale, feeling my own heart soften with the recognition that kindness, once given, never truly fades. The courtyard is quiet, yet alive with subtle sounds. The rustle of leaves, the distant cry of an owl, the faint trickle of water from a small stone basin all blend together, creating a symphony of gentle presence. I notice the shadows of the lantern stretching across the stones, merging with the contours of the courtyard. Each flicker illuminates something different, a pattern in the stone, a simple wooden bench. I sense that the light touches not only the physical space, but the unseen corners of my mind, revealing areas where I have held judgment, resentment, or fear. With every breath, the lantern seems to warm those corners, softening the sharp edges, coaxing them into gentle awareness. I close my eyes and let the lantern guide me inward. I imagine that its flame extends beyond the temple, reaching into the world, into the hearts of those who need it most. I picture a friend who has felt sorrow, a stranger burdened by worry, a family member lost in doubt. I visualize the light wrapping around them, tender and unwavering, offering comfort and hope. I recognize that compassion is not limited to grand gestures, is a quiet, steady presence, a flame that can be carried silently from one heart to another. With each inhale, I breathe in its warmth. With each exhale, I send that warmth outward, letting it flow freely, without expectation or attachment. The night deepens, and the stars begin to appear, mirrored in the small pool of water beside the lantern. The reflection shimmers, broken by the occasional ripple of a passing breeze. I imagine that the lantern's light is like that pool, reflecting countless small moments of care and love, each one contributing to a greater tapestry of gentleness. I feel a wave of gratitude rise within me for the quiet teachings of the monks, for the river's lesson of release, for the simplicity of this glowing flame. I sense that I have received more than I came seeking. I have received a model of presence, patience, and unwavering benevolence. I reach forward and place my hands just above the lantern, feeling the gentle warmth on my palms. I imagine it transferring not only heat, but wisdom, a subtle energy that encourages openness and empathy. I think of times when I have felt impatient, critical, or cold toward myself or others. I let the lantern's light seep into those memories, softening them, offering forgiveness where I had withheld it. Each flicker of flame becomes a teacher, each shadow a guide, each moment an opportunity to practice gentle understanding. I feel my heart expand as I accept this guidance, allowing myself to embrace both my flaws and my potential for kindness with equal grace. The courtyard seems suspended in time, as if the lantern has paused the world to allow me this space of reflection. I hear the soft footfall of someone approaching a monk, perhaps, though I cannot see clearly. Their presence is calm, silent, and I feel no need to speak. They simply nod, acknowledging the shared respect for this sacred flame. I imagine them offering a silent blessing, reinforcing the message that compassion is both personal and universal, intimate yet boundless. I inhale deeply, feeling the warmth of the lantern mingling with the quiet guidance of this unseen teacher. And I exhale slowly, letting it settle within me, steady and enduring. I allow my thoughts to wander gently, unpressured, reflecting on the people I love and those I have yet to understand. I see each face illuminated by the lantern's gentle glow, and I feel my intention to act with kindness strengthened, not as a duty, but as a natural extension of who I am. I notice the interplay of light and shadow, understanding that both are necessary, and that compassion shines most brightly when it embraces imperfection. The flickering flame becomes a mirror, reflecting the potential for warmth in every interaction, every gesture, every thought. As I sit quietly, I sense that a lantern's flame is slowly merging with my own inner light, not overpowering, but blending seamlessly. I feel a gentle clarity rising, a deepening awareness that I carry the capacity for compassion wherever I go. The courtyard, the lantern, the quiet night, they have all imparted a subtle yet powerful lesson to hold space for myself and others, to allow warmth to spread naturally, to nurture without expectation, and to trust in the quiet strength of presence. The stars shine brighter now, and the flame continues its soft dance. I notice how even the smallest light can ripple across darkness, how a single act of care can influence countless hearts, and how patience and stillness allow that light to grow. I inhale deeply once more, feeling the warmth of the lantern and the lessons it has offered, and exhale fully, releasing any lingering tension, any need to control or judge. I feel my being aligned with the rhythm of generosity, the heartbeat of gentle presence, the endless flow of quiet love. I rise slowly, leaving the lantern swinging gently in the night breeze. I bow lightly, honoring the flame, the courtyard, and the lesson of unwavering compassion. As I step back onto the forest path, I feel the warmth within me lingering, a constant, quiet companion. Each step carries the essence of the lantern's gift, and I understand that its light is not confined to this temple. Travels with me, illuminating my thoughts, guiding my actions, and softening the world around me, one breath at a time. I leave the courtyard behind, carrying with me the gentle warmth of the lantern's light and the lesson of compassion it offered. The path ahead winds deeper into the forest, and soon the trees part to reveal a hidden garden bathed in silver moonlight. The air is cool and fragrant, carrying the soft scent of moss, stone, and blooming night flowers. I step into the garden slowly, feeling the earth firm yet forgiving beneath my feet. And I notice the subtle sounds of nighttime, the whisper of leaves in the wind, the distant trickle of water, the gentle hum of life that continues quietly even in the darkness. The garden is not large, yet it feels infinite. Each carefully placed stone, each curve of the gravel, each bending branch seems deliberate, as if every element has been arranged with thought and reverence. I walk slowly along a winding path lined with moss-covered stones, allowing my senses to absorb every detail. Moonlight spills across the garden, reflecting in still pools of water and casting long, delicate shadows that move gently with the wind. I feel as if I have stepped into a world suspended in time, where every moment is a meditation, every breath a prayer, and every step an act of awareness. I pause at the edge of a shallow pond, its surface smooth and mirror-like. The moon hangs above, full and luminous, and its reflection seems to reach into the water, doubling the soft radiance around me. I crouch slightly, letting my fingertips skim the water, and I am mesmerized by the tiny ripples I create. They spread slowly across the surface, fading gently into stillness, teaching me that even small actions have influence. Yet life continues, regardless, flowing naturally and gracefully. I breathe deeply, feeling the cool night air fill my lungs, and I exhale slowly, letting tension flow out of my body as effortlessly as the ripples vanish from the pond. As I move along the stone path, I notice lanterns hanging from delicate wooden posts, their flames soft and steady, harmonizing with the moonlight above. I imagine monks walking this same path centuries ago, their robes brushing softly against the ground, their footsteps deliberate, their minds quiet and alert. The air carries the faint scent of incense lingering from long ago, blending with the natural aroma of the earth. I feel a gentle connection to those who walked here before me, a recognition that this garden has been a place of learning, reflection, and inner peace for generations. I reach a small wooden bridge arching over a narrow stream, the water beneath moving softly, reflecting the moon and lanterns above in shimmering patterns. I stop in the center, placing my hands lightly on the railing, and I allow myself to breathe in the tranquility. The garden seems to exhale with me, the leaves rustling in harmony with my own rhythm. I notice the subtle sounds of the night, a frog's quiet call, the rustle of a small animal in the underbrush, the wind passing through bamboo stalks. Each sound is delicate, yet distinct, creating a tapestry of gentle life that surrounds and envelops me. I follow the path as it curves around a cluster of ancient bonsai trees, their gnarled branches reaching skyward, shadows stretching across the moss-covered stones. I kneel beside one, resting my palm on its twisted trunk, feeling the texture of bark and the coolness of the evening air. I imagine the patience required to shape such a tree, to guide it through years of growth, pruning, and care, until it stands as a miniature representation of harmony and balance. I reflect on my own journey, recognizing that my growth, too, requires patience, presence, and gentle guidance. I breathe in slowly, absorbing the essence of stillness, and exhale, releasing the need for control or hurry. A gentle breeze stirs the branches above, and the moonlight flickers across the garden floor. I follow the path to a small stone lantern placed near a cluster of blooming night jasmine. Its soft glow illuminates the flowers, revealing delicate petals and curling vines. I lean closer, inhaling the sweet scent, and I am reminded of the interconnectedness of all things: the earth that nourishes the flowers, the rain that shapes the stones, the moon that lights the night. I feel a deep sense of gratitude rising within me, a quiet understanding that every element in this garden exists in harmony, each supporting the other, each contributing to the serenity that envelops me. I continue walking, noticing the subtle textures beneath my feet: moss, gravel, and worn stone, each step a conscious reminder of the present. My breath aligns with a rhythm of the garden, the slow sway of branches, the whisper of water, the distant hum of nocturnal life. I feel a gentle calm spreading through my body, a softness in my chest and shoulders, a lightness in my mind. The garden seems to respond to my presence, acknowledging it with a quiet pulse of life and light. I sense that I am both observer and participant, that my awareness contributes to the harmony around me, and that in this moment, I am entirely present. I arrive at a small pavilion at the center of the garden, its roof curved elegantly, shadows falling in intricate patterns across the wooden floor. I sit cross-legged, allowing my body to settle fully into the space. I close my eyes and feel the garden breathing with me. The lantern's glow, the moonlight's silver radiance, the soft trickle of water, and the gentle night air merge into a single rhythm. I inhale, feeling the tranquility fill every cell of my body, and exhale, releasing the tension, worry, and fatigue that I have carried. Each breath draws me deeper into the serenity of the garden. Each exhale loosens my attachment to the outside world, grounding me in the sacred present. I imagine the moon's reflection on the pond beside the pavilion as a mirror of my own inner stillness. Thoughts arise and pass like leaves drifting across the water, and I watch them without grasping, allowing them to move gently downstream. I sense the gentle guidance of the garden, the placement of stones, the curve of paths, the delicate care of lanterns and plant saw, teaching me the art of balance, simplicity, and patience. I feel my awareness expand, embracing not only the garden, but the quiet flow of life itself, recognizing that stillness is not emptiness, but a profound fullness of being. I rise slowly and walk toward a small stone staircase leading to an elevated platform overlooking the entire garden. From this vantage point, I see the ponds, paths, lanterns, and trees arranged in perfect harmony, bathed in the soft glow of moonlight. I feel a wave of appreciation, not just for the beauty before me, but for the serenity that has been cultivated within me. One inhale the night air, cool and fragrant, and exhale, sensing my spirit merging with the peaceful energy of the garden. I realize that this place, this experience, is not only external, it is a reflection of the calm that exists within, a mirror of the mindfulness, patience, and gentle awareness that I carry in each breath. I walk down the steps and follow a narrow path toward the edge of the garden, where a small bamboo grove rustles softly in the breeze. The moonlight filters through the slender stalks, creating shifting patterns of light and shadow. I pause and allow myself to be fully present in the moment, noticing the subtle interplay of sound, scent, and light. I feel a sense of unity with all that surrounds me: the moon, the lanterns, the earth beneath my feet, the soft wind, the stillness of the night. In this shared silence, I feel completely aligned, completely at peace, completely awake, yet profoundly relaxed. I settle beside a small stream that winds through the bamboo, letting the cool water brush my fingertips. The moonlight and lanterns glint off its surface, creating an endless dance of reflections. I breathe deeply, inhaling serenity and exhaling release, feeling my mind soften and my heart open. I notice how the garden has taught me to move slowly, to observe without judgment, and to recognize the beauty in both simplicity and impermanence. I feel gratitude for this experience, for the lessons of the river, the temple, and the lantern, and I allow myself to fully absorb the serenity of the moonlit Zen garden. As the night deepens, the garden seems to embrace me completely. I lie back on a soft patch of moss, feeling the earth support me, and I watch the moon move across the sky, casting silver light upon the trees, the stones, and the flowing water. I feel a profound sense of surrender, of being held by the gentle rhythm of the garden. My breath aligns with the night, slow and effortless, carrying me into deeper awareness, deeper calm, deeper stillness. I am part of this garden, and the garden is part of me, united in a silent, eternal dance of light, shadow, and tranquility. With every breath, I drift further into peace. My mind quiet, my body relaxed, my spirit luminous. I feel the teachings of this place settle within me, grounding me in serenity and harmony. The moonlit garden, with its lanterns, streams, and bamboo groves, has become a sanctuary for my heart, a mirror of inner calm, a guide for gentle presence. And in this sacred stillness, I feel fully alive, fully aware, and completely at peace, ready to carry the quiet wisdom of the night into every moment that follows. I lie back gently on the soft ground, feeling the cool earth beneath me and the gentle caress of the night air. The moonlight spills softly across my body, its silver glow mingling with the lingering warmth from the lantern, the river, and the temple. I close my eyes fully now, surrendering completely to the stillness that surrounds me. Each breath becomes slower, longer, more deliberate, like the ebb and flow of a calm, endless tide. The world outside ceases to exist in this sacred moment. There is only the gentle rhythm of my inhalation and exhalation, only the quiet presence of being alive in the eternal now. I begin to hum softly to myself, a sound that rises from deep within my chest, resonating in my belly and echoing faintly in my head. It is a sound that carries peace, a mantra not of words, but of vibration, flowing effortlessly with my breath. I inhale, allowing the sound to swell gently, and exhale, letting it diminish slowly into the night. With each repetition, I feel tension melting from my body. My shoulders drop. My jaw unclenches. My arms grow heavy, and my legs soften. I sense every muscle loosening, every nerve releasing, every thought dissolving into quiet clarity. The mantra continues, a gentle river of sound weaving through my consciousness. I do not force it. It emerges naturally, a reflection of my own inner calm. With each repetition, I visualize a warm, golden light spreading from the center of my chest outward, reaching every corner of my body. It moves slowly, deliberately, infusing my organs, bones, and skin with tranquility. I feel it in my heart, steady and constant, and in my mind, clear and expansive. It is as though the mantra itself carries a quiet intelligence, guiding me deeper into a state of profound relaxation and serenity. I imagine myself floating gently on a vast, still lake under the night sky. The moon reflects perfectly on the water's surface, and I feel weightless, cradled by the gentle embrace of the universe. Each breath I take sends tiny ripples across the lake, waves of calm spreading outward infinitely. My body drifts effortlessly, my mind gliding along the rhythm of the mantra, and I feel as if I am merging with the lake itself, the moonlight, the silence becoming one with the night's profound serenity. As the mantra continues, I sense the lessons of my journey, the temple's patience, the river's acceptance, the lantern's compassion, the garden's balance flowing into me fully. They are no longer external. They are a part of my being, settled deep into the fibers of my mind and body. I feel a quiet understanding arise. Life is not to be hurried, not to be grasped. Each moment carries its own perfection, and peace exists not in the seeking, but in the gentle presence, in the quiet alignment with what is. I inhale deeply, absorbing this knowledge, and exhale, allowing every last fragment of tension, worry, and unrest to drift away like autumn leaves on a slow-moving stream. I notice a subtle hum in the air, a vibration that seems to resonate with the mantra and the rhythm of my breath. I feel it moving through my body, harmonizing with the pulse of my heart and the flow of my blood. Each vibration seems to reach deeper, penetrating layers of stress, old habits of tension, and the lingering residue of restless thoughts. I imagine these layers dissolving, evaporating into the night, leaving only clarity, peace, and an effortless sense of well-being. My body feels increasingly light, almost ethereal, as if gravity itself has softened, and I am cradled between earth and sky, between breath and silence, between being and nothingness. I drift further, imagining my consciousness as a gentle flame floating in the still night. The flame sways with the rhythm of the mantra, glowing softly, radiating warmth and light. It illuminates memories and moments that once weighed heavily on me, not to relive them, but to release them. I send each memory into the flame with compassion, watching as it dissolves into sparks that rise and vanish into the night sky. The mantra hums beneath it all, carrying the energy of forgiveness, acceptance, and liberation. I feel lighter with every exhale, freer with every repetition, more connected with the infinite calm that surrounds and permeates me. As I sink deeper into this state, I visualize a gentle mountain landscape, serene and eternal. I see the temple resting quietly atop the peak, the river flowing endlessly below, the garden illuminated by moonlight. I imagine myself walking slowly along the mountain path, my steps effortless, my mind serene. Each inhalation draws in the energy of the mountain, the strength, the patience, the wisdom of time itself. Each exhalation releases fear, tension, and the weight of the day. I feel my spirit expanding, embracing the landscape, merging with its stillness, and recognizing that the peace I have found is not external, it is mine to carry within. The mantra continues. A soft, continuous hum, blending with the imagined sounds of the night wind through trees. Water flowing gently over stones, the distant calls of nocturnal creatures. These sounds weave into the vibration of my own voice, forming a tapestry of harmony, a lullaby for body, mind, and spirit. I feel every cell in my body vibrating in alignment with this rhythm, every breath synchronizing perfectly with the quiet energy of the universe. The sensation is profound, yet gentle, a complete immersion in stillness, a deep connection with the eternal present. I imagine a soft, silver light descending from the moon, washing over me like a sacred waterfall. It moves slowly from my head down through my shoulders, arms, chest, and legs, touching every inch of my body with serenity. The light seems to blend with the mantra, infusing it into my being, creating a seamless union of sound, breath, and illumination. I feel completely safe, completely held, completely at peace. Every muscle, every organ, every thought relaxes further, slipping into a state of effortless calm, as if the universe itself is cradling me in a gentle, unbroken embrace. I close my eyes and take a slow, deliberate breath. The world around me softens, as if the edges of everything I've held onto today are dissolving, melting into a gentle haze. I can feel the tension that has quietly coiled inside meat tightness in my shoulders, a knot in my stomach, a restless hum behind my eyes. I let it be. I do not push it away. I do not fight it. I simply notice it, acknowledging it as a part of my body, a part of my day, a part of my story. As I breathe in, I invite calm. As I breathe out, I release the weight I've carried, small disappointments, unspoken words, hurried thoughts. Each exhale carries away a fragment of my worry, and with each inhale, I welcome a stillness that feels both foreign and familiar. There is a quiet river inside me, and I am stepping gently into its slow, flowing current. The room I am in grows quieter, though I do not need it to. Even if the world outside were bustling, I know I can create a sanctuary within my mind. I imagine a soft light gathering at the center of my chest, warm and steady. It expands gently with every breath, filling my lungs, my heart, my awareness, until it stretches to the edges of my being. This light does not demand anything from me. It simply exists, serene and patient. I let myself rest in it. I become aware of the subtle sensations, the weight of my body against the floor or chair, the gentle rise and fall of my chest, the way the air brushes softly across my skin. Each detail grounds me, each sensation a tether that keeps me present. I do not need to rush, do not need to accomplish, do not need to think. For now, I exist simply, like a leaf drifting upon a quiet stream. Thoughts begin to arise, as they always do. Some are fleeting, like whispers. Others cling, like shadows. I notice them without judgment. A memory of something unkind said today, a worry about tomorrow, a longing for something I cannot yet name. I do not chase them away. I am not their master, nor am I their prisoner. I watch them with gentle curiosity, as if they are clouds passing across the sky. My awareness remains steady, my breath the anchor that holds me in this gentle present. I imagine a garden at dusk, quiet and still, the colors muted by the soft glow of the fading sun. There is a path of smooth stones leading to a small wooden bridge that arches over a shallow stream. The water trickles softly, murmuring secrets only the wind and the trees understand. I hear the rustle of leaves, the faint call of a night bird, and the distant murmur of flowing water. In this place, I feel safe. In this place, I feel at peace. With each breath, I sink deeper into this sense of ease. My muscles relax one by one. My mind softens, and the constant hum of thought begins to fade. I imagine that each exhale is a gentle tide, washing away the residue of stress and leaving behind a calm, clear surface. Beneath this clarity, there is a stillness, timeless and vast, like a quiet lake beneath the moon. I rest in this stillness, letting it hold me as I drift further into the warmth of my own being. I bring attention to my heartbeat, steady and unwavering. I follow it, noticing its rhythm without trying to alter it. Each pulse is a reminder that I am alive, that I am here, that I am present. There is nothing I need to fix, nothing I need to change. The world outside may demand much, but here, in this moment, I am free. I am simply a witness to myself, watching the quiet unfolding of my own awareness. Thoughts may return, but I do not resist them. I simply allow them to rise and fall, returning always to the breath, to the rhythm of life within me. I am like the surface of a pond, reflecting the sky, accepting the ripples that occasionally disturb the water, yet knowing that beneath the ripples, the water remains calm and deep. I imagine now a gentle wind brushing through a bamboo grove. The tall stalks sway in unison, whispering a song older than time itself. I walk slowly among them, barefoot on the soft earth, each step deliberate, each movement conscious. The sound of the wind is a lullaby, guiding me deeper into a state of inner quiet. I feel the wisdom of these trees, the patience, the resilience, the gentle strength. I carry their presence with me, letting it seep into my bones, letting it remind me that peace is always available if I simply step into it as I continue to breathe. I notice the warmth of the air, the subtle rhythm of the world around me, the way my body and mind respond to this slow, intentional attention. I am not in a hurry. I do not need to move on. The moment stretches infinitely, yet it feels safe, contained, like a secret kept between me and the universe. I let my awareness soften further, allowing my body to sink into whatever surface supports me. I feel gravity's gentle embrace, the steadiness beneath me that reminds me I am grounded, connected. I imagine that each breath flows through my body like water through a clear stream, reaching every cell, every fiber, cleansing, nourishing, and relaxing. There is a gentle rhythm now, a harmony between body, breath, and mind. Thoughts have slowed, worries have softened, and a profound calm begins to take root. I am aware of nothing and everything at once, a presence that is both ephemeral and eternal. The river within me is still, yet alive. The garden is quiet, yet brimming with unseen life. The wind whispers, yet no sound breaks the silence. I know that this is just the beginning. I am preparing my mind for deeper journeys, for stories that will unfold like petals in the night, for wisdom and tranquility that will carry me toward rest. I am ready to let the tales come to me, to drift with them, to let them guide me into a state of deep, restorative sleep. I inhale one more time, deeply and fully, feeling the air fill me with calm. I exhale slowly, releasing any remaining tension. I am here. I am at peace. I am ready. And with that readiness, I drift slightly deeper. The quiet river within me, carrying me gently toward the first story, toward the soft unfolding of timeless wisdom, toward the embrace of tranquil sleep. I find myself walking along a narrow path, my bare feet brushing against the cool, soft earth. The air is crisp, tinged with the scent of wet leaves and ancient soil, and I notice the gentle sway of a bamboo grove ahead. The tall stalks rise like silent sentinels, their slender bodies stretching toward the sky. Leaves rustling softly in a breeze that feels as old as the earth itself. I pause for a moment, letting the stillness of this place settle over me like a quiet cloak, heavy with calm and possibility. With each step I take, I notice the rhythm of my breath, slow and deliberate, matching the subtle rustling of the bamboo leaves. They sway with the wind, bending but never breaking, and in this simple motion, a lesson begins to whisper in my mind. Life is much like this grove. There are storms, gusts that push and pull, yet the core of who I am, the essence that lies within, remains resilient if I allow it to be. as I continue deeper into the grove. The canopy of leaves above me filters the light into a delicate mosaic of green and gold. Sunlight dances softly on the forest floor, shifting with the movement of each stalk. And I feel an unfamiliar serenity washing over me. The world outside seems distant now, replaced by the gentle sway, the murmurs of unseen creatures, and the cool, quiet presence of these trees. I am not alone, yet I am entirely within myself. I come to a small clearing where the bamboo seems older, wider, their trunks thick with years and experience. I run my hand along one of them, feeling the smooth texture of its surface, the subtle rings marking its growth through countless seasons. It occurs to me that each of us grows in a similar way, not in leaps or bounds, but patiently, quietly, enduring the storms while reaching toward the light. I inhale deeply, allowing this understanding to sink in, and with it, a gentle sense of patience blooms within me. Sitting on the soft moss beneath one of the older stalks, I close my eyes and let the grove speak to me. The wind moves through the leaves, producing a sound that feels almost like a breath, or perhaps a whisper. It is saying, "Do not rush. Bend when you must. Stand tall when you can. Trust in your own growth, even when it is unseen." I imagine these words settling into the corners of my mind where doubt often resides, softening their sharp edges, replacing tension with quiet confidence. I notice a young bamboo shoot nearby, delicate and thin, struggling slightly in the breeze. My attention lingers on it, and I realize that strength is not always immediate. It develops slowly. Just as this young shoot will one day grow into a tall, unyielding stalk, so too does my inner strength take time to emerge fully. I breathe in this lesson, letting it mingle with my own experiences, understanding that my growth does not need to be hurried, nor compared with others. As I rise to continue walking, I become aware of the subtle symphony around me, the faint hum of insects, the distant trickle of a hidden stream, the rhythmic sway of countless bamboo stalks. Every element is part of a whole, and I see how interconnected it all is. I am a part of this grove, as much as it is a part of me, and in this awareness, a profound sense of belonging begins to settle within my chest. Moving along the path, I notice that some stalks lean over the trail, forming natural arches. I duck beneath one and feel a gentle pressure of the bamboo overhead, as if it is guiding me forward, offering a soft embrace. The lesson deepens. Even in the presence of obstacles, there is guidance if I remain mindful. I take my time, stepping lightly, mindful of the connection between each footfall and the earth beneath me. I pause again, leaning against a sturdy stalk, and let my gaze wander upward. The bamboo stretches endlessly toward the sky, unwavering despite the wind. I feel a sense of continuity, a rhythm of endurance, a promise that growth is both inevitable and patient. My mind begins to quiet even further, thoughts slowing as I absorbed this presence. I feel a deep, almost magnetic pull to let go of the rigidity I carry within the need to control, to predict, to demand immediate results. The grove seems to respond to this release, the wind becoming softer, the rustle of the leaves more melodic, almost like laughter. A single leaf detaches and drifts down slowly, spiraling in the air before landing gently at my feet. I pick it up and feel the delicate veins and the fragile strength it carries. I understand that even in fragility, there is resilience. Even in surrender, there is a quiet power. I continue my journey through the grove, noticing more and more the patterns that emerge. Some stalks grow in clusters, leaning on each other for support, while others stand alone, strong and independent. I reflect on my own life, on times I have sought support and times I have needed to stand alone. Both are necessary, both are valuable, both are part of the natural rhythm of existence. I allow this understanding to settle in, feeling it as a gentle warmth that radiates from my chest outward. A faint bird call draws my attention to a small clearing ahead. Sunlight filters through the canopy in a golden haze, illuminating a small stream that winds gently through the grove. I step closer and kneel at the edge, watching the water ripple and shimmer. It moves effortlessly, flowing around stones and bends, never resisting, yet always moving forward. I see myself in this water, learning to navigate life's obstacles with grace, to bend with the wind and flow with the currents, maintaining calm even amidst change. I close my eyes and place my hands on the soft earth, feeling its cool energy seep into me. I am reminded that growth is patient, like the bamboo, like the water, like the very ground that supports me. It does not happen overnight, yet it is steady, relentless, and inevitable. My chest rises and falls with each breath, steadying me, reminding me of the quiet strength that already resides within. The bamboo grove seems to whisper one final truth as bend when needed, flow like the water, endure like the trees. Everything you need is already within you. I carry this lesson in my heart as I walk back along the path, feeling lighter, calmer, more connected. My mind is still, my body relaxed, and my spirit quietly attuned to the rhythm of the grove, to the rhythm of life itself. I step out of the grove slowly, but the calm does not fade. I feel it lingering, a gentle presence accompanying me as I prepare to continue my journey. Ready for the next story, ready to drift further into the quiet wisdom and restorative peace that awaits. I climb slowly, deliberately, each step placing my weight fully on the earth beneath me. The path is narrow and winding, carved into the side of a steep mountain, yet I feel neither fear nor hesitation. The air grows cooler as I ascend, crisp and clear, carrying the faint scent of pine needles and stone. With every breath, I inhale the mountain's presence, its ancient stillness filling me, grounding me, centering me. I notice the rhythm of my own heartbeat, steady and sure, and I match my pace to it, step by step, breath by breath. Ahead, I see a small wooden cabin nestled against the rock face, nearly hidden by towering pines. Smoke curls lazily from the chimney, dissipating into the sky. I realize that I have arrived at the home of the hermit I have heard about in whispers, a figure who lives far above the bustle of the world, a keeper of quiet wisdom. As I approach, I notice the tranquility that radiates from the place, as if the mountain itself has chosen this spot for solitude and reflection. I pause at the edge of the clearing, taking in the cabin, the trees, the soft hum of life around me. The hermit is not yet visible, but I feel his presence in the rhythm of the surroundings, the sway of the pines, the gentle trickle of a nearby spring, the subtle whisper of the wind. I realize that silence can speak just as loudly as words, and perhaps even more profoundly. I step closer, my footsteps light on the moss-covered ground. The cabin door opens slowly, revealing a figure seated cross-legged inside, eyes closed, hands resting gently on knees. His face is serene, lined with years of experience, yet untouched by worry. He moves with deliberate slowness, a kind of grace that is neither hurried nor performative. I sense that every action, every pause, carries intention, and that in this intention lies the deep wisdom of a life lived in harmony with oneself and the world. I approach and bow my head respectfully, feeling the weight of centuries of knowledge in the quiet that stretches between us. The hermit opens his eyes, calm and penetrating, yet warm. There is no need for words. I understand that presence itself can be a teacher. He gestures toward the mountain trail beyond his cabin, inviting me to walk with him. I follow, letting the cool air brush against my skin, listening to the sound of the wind threading through the pine needles as we walk. He speaks softly, each word deliberate, carrying weight beyond its sound. Listen to the silence, he says. Not the absence of sound, but the presence of stillness within it. The world speaks constantly, yet we rarely hear the quiet that teaches more than noise ever could. Sensing the truth in his words, letting them sink into the spaces between my thoughts, the path narrows further, flanked by sheer cliffs on one side and dense forest on the other. I notice how the hermit walks without haste, stepping lightly on the stones, his gaze attuned to the ground and the sky, the small details that often escape hurried eyes. I realize that life, like this path, is navigated one careful step at a time. With mindfulness, awareness, and reverence for the present moment, we come to a ledge that overlooks a vast valley below. Clouds drift slowly, casting shifting shadows over the landscape. I pause, mesmerized by the expanse of mountains, rivers, and forests stretching beyond what I can see. The hermit sits on a flat rock at the edge and gestures for me to join him. Together, we sit in silence, letting the view impress itself upon our minds, letting the cool mountain air settle in our lungs. Notice the patterns, he says finally. The way the rivers carve their paths, the way the trees bend toward the light, the way the wind moves freely through the spaces it finds. Everything has a rhythm, a flow. And if you watch carefully, you will see that resistance is optional. Peace is not found by forcing the world to conform, but by moving in harmony with its currents. I inhale deeply, feeling the air fill me with clarity. His words are simple, yet they echo profoundly in the stillness around us. I notice a small bird landing on a nearby branch, tilting its head curiously before taking flight again. The hermit smiles faintly. Even the smallest life here teaches patience. Every moment carries a lesson if you are willing to observe. I take this in, feeling a gentle shift inside Mia, letting go of the need to control. A quiet surrender to the rhythm of life as it unfolds naturally, as the sun begins to dip behind distant peaks. The sky painted in shades of rose and gold. I realize that my attention has softened. Thoughts that once demanded focus now drift like clouds, light and passing. I understand that stillness is not emptiness, but a rich presence, a space where clarity, wisdom, and understanding can grow. The hermit rises slowly, gesturing for me to walk with him back toward the cabin. The descent is calm, deliberate, each step reminding me that life's lessons are not always found in grand gestures, but in the subtle, repeated actions of daily awareness. The hermit pauses by a small spring, cupping water in his hands and offering it to me. I drink, feeling its coolness cleanse more than just my thirst. It seems to wash away lingering tension, leaving a sense of renewal in its place. Inside the cabin, the fire burns gently, casting flickering shadows across the wooden walls. The hermit moves to a low table and gestures for me to sit. I notice the simplicity of his surroundings, no excess, no distraction, only the essentials needed to live fully and mindfully. Simplicity is not deprivation, he says softly, it is clarity. It is the ability to see what is truly important without being clouded by noise and desire. I feel the truth of this settle into me, a deep resonance that aligns with the quiet unfolding of my own awareness. I sit back, letting the warmth of the fire and the presence of the hermit envelop me. The silence between words is comforting, like a soft blanket. I feel a profound connection not only to this man, this mountain, this moment, but to the larger currents of life that flow through everything. I understand in a way I have never quite understood before, that wisdom does not always come with explanation, but with observation, patience, and the willingness to be present. As the evening grows darker, the hermit lights a small lantern, its glow gentle and steady. I notice how the light flickers across the walls, across the floor, across the quiet spaces in my mind. It is a simple reminder that even in darkness, clarity can exist. Even in stillness, movement continues. Even in silence, lessons abound. I lay down on a simple mat near the fire, feeling the weight of the day dissolve. My thoughts drift, untangling themselves as I sink deeper into calm. The hermit sits across from me, his presence a quiet guardian of this space, and I realize that I am learning something profound. The art of listening, of observing, of being wholly present in a way that does not demand but simply allows. With my eyes closed, I feel the mountain air, the warmth of the cabin, the lingering glow of the lantern, and the slow, steady rhythm of my own breathing. The lesson of the silent hermit seeps into me, becoming part of my own inner landscape. Patience, presence, surrender, awareness. I am ready to continue, carrying this calm and insight with me as I prepare for the next path, the next story, the next gentle unfolding of wisdom and rest. I wake early, before the first light has fully touched the horizon. The air is crisp, carrying the faint scent of incense and dew-soaked earth. I walk quietly along the narrow path leading to the monastery. Each step careful, deliberate, mindful of the soft crunch of stones beneath my feet. The world is still, and in this stillness, I feel the gentle pulse of life around me, the rustle of leaves, the distant call of a bird, the whisper of wind through bamboo stalks. The monastery comes into view, perched at the edge of a quiet valley. Its walls are simple, unadorned, yet emanate a warmth that draws me closer. I see the monks moving within the courtyard, their robes a muted sea of earthy tones, each step precise and calm. I notice how their presence seems to alter the space around them, as if peace itself has taken physical form and walks among the stone pathways. I am greeted by one of the monks. A man with gentle eyes that seem to hold centuries of quiet understanding. His smile is unassuming, yet it reaches deep, and I feel an immediate ease settle into my chest. Without words, I know that he embodies something rare, harmony between heart and mind. A life lived fully in compassion and mindfulness. He gestures for me to walk alongside him, and we move slowly, deliberately, letting our footsteps fall in rhythm with the soft morning light. As we walk, he begins to speak, though his voice is gentle, almost blending with the sounds of the valley. Compassion is not merely an act, he says. It is a state of being. It begins not with others, but with oneself. Only when the heart is open to its own suffering can it truly reach out to heal the suffering of the world. I listen, feeling each word sink into me, brushing against corners of my mind that have long held rigidity, doubt, or fear. We come to a small garden, meticulously tended, yet alive with wildflowers and herbs. Dew clings to petals, sparkling like tiny gems in the soft light. The monk kneels to inspect a delicate bloom, his fingers brushing the petals without disturbing them. I see his reverence for life in every movement, and I understand that compassion is not only for people, it's for every living being. For the smallest leaf, the gentlest breeze, the quietest stream, observe, he says, pointing to the flower, how it opens to the sun each morning, how it bends but does not break under the rain. It gives without demand, nourishes without expectation. This is the essence of compassion. To give freely, without counting the cost, without clinging to recognition, without expectation. I watch, imagining myself as that flower, learning to give and exist with the same grace, letting go of the constant inner chatter that so often steals my attention. He leads me to a quiet hall where the monks are seated in meditation. The air here is thick with a calm presence, each breath synchronized with a rhythm of awareness. I sit among them, and though I do not yet understand all the intricacies of their practice, I feel the energy of compassion flowing like a gentle river, touching every corner of my mind and body. I sense that this energy is not something that can be forced or fabricated. It is cultivated through patience, mindfulness, and the willingness to be present with the suffering and joys of life alike. The monk returns to my side and speaks softly. There will be times when the world demands anger, judgment, or withdrawal. But remember, true strength lies in responding with a heart that is open, gentle, and kind. Every act of awareness, every moment of presence is a seed of compassion. Tended carefully, and it will grow into a tree whose shade provides rest to many. I feel these words resonate deep within, like the echo of a bell that rings long after it has been struck. We move outside again, to a small stream that winds through the monastery grounds. I watch the water flow over smooth stones, bending around obstacles without resistance, carving its path with patience and persistence. The monk kneels and cups some water in his hands, letting it slip through his fingers. Notice how the stream does not cling, does not grasp, does not resist. It nourishes the life along its path simply by being itself. Compassion, like this stream, flows naturally when the heart is unburdened by desire or expectation. I dip my hands into the cool water, feeling it awakens a gentle clarity within me, washing away tension, judgment, and self-doubt. The morning progresses, and I accompany the monk as he moves through the village at the edge of the valley. He greets each person he encounters with the same calm presence, listening with full attention, responding with quiet kindness. I notice the subtle effect of his attention, the way eyes soften, shoulders relax, and the hurried pace of life slows, even if only for a moment. I begin to understand that compassion is not always a grand gesture. Often, it is the quiet acknowledgement of another's existence, the gentle act of bearing witness without interference or judgment. We return to the monastery, and the monk invites me to join him in a simple ritual of offering food to the trees and animals nearby. Each morsel is placed with mindfulness, gratitude, and care, a reminder that giving is not measured by quantity, but by the intention and awareness behind the act. I see how this simple practice transforms the ordinary into something sacred, how the smallest gestures can ripple outward in unseen ways, touching lives beyond immediate perception as the sun climbs higher. Casting light across the valley, I feel a profound shift within me. The weight of self-centered concerns begins to lift, replaced by a gentle openness, a willingness to engage with the world without grasping or pushing. I realize that compassion is not a single act, but a continuous practice, a state of mind cultivated through attention, patience, and presence. The monk gestures toward a quiet corner of the courtyard, a small wooden bench bathed in sunlight. We sit together, letting the warmth penetrate, letting the stillness between words grow comfortable and nourishing. Remember, he says, you are never alone in this practice. Every kind thought, every gentle action, every moment of awareness adds to the quiet light of the world. Compassion is contagious not in the sense of obligation, but in the sense of resonance. When your heart opens, it touches the hearts of all who encounter it. I close my eyes and imagine this resonance spreading outward from myself to my surroundings, to the trees, the stones, the animals, the people I love, and even to those I do not yet know. I feel the invisible threads of connection, delicate yet strong, binding me to the larger tapestry of life. I understand that being compassionate is not a burden, nor a performance, but a natural expression of awareness and presence. The day begins to wane, and shadows stretch across the monastery grounds. I stand with the monk one last time, looking toward the horizon where the sun dips behind distant peaks. He places a hand gently on my shoulder, and in that touch, I feel the quiet affirmation of everything I have absorbed this morning, the lessons of patience, mindfulness, and above all, the profound strength of a heart devoted to compassion. As I walk away from the monastery, carrying the warmth of the monk's presence with me, I notice how the world seems subtly different. The wind carries a softer tone, the light plays differently across the trees, and even the rhythm of my own breath feels aligned with a deeper current. I carry this lesson in my chest, ready for the next story, ready to continue this journey of quiet wisdom and restorative peace, trusting that each step I take with awareness and compassion guides me toward an even calmer, more centered self. I walk slowly along the bank of a river I have never seen before, yet somehow feel I have always known. The water moves steadily, gently, carrying everything in its path without resistance. Sunlight glints off the surface, scattering fragments of gold and silver, and the air is filled with a soft chorus of rustling leaves, distant birds, and the occasional splash of a fish breaking through the current. I take a deep breath, feeling the coolness of the air fill my lungs, and realize that this place is not merely outside of MIT, is inside as well, a reflection of the inner landscape I have carried too long. I kneel at the edge of the river and let my fingers touch the water. It is cool, alive, flowing with purpose, yet without hurry. Each ripple seems to speak to me, whispering secrets I do not yet fully understand. I notice the weight in my chest, the tension in my shoulders, the collection of worries, regrets, and unspoken words I have held like stones in my hands. Without thinking, I begin to release them, letting them slip from my grasp into the current. One by one, each thought, each memory drifts away on the river, carried gently toward a horizon I cannot yet see, but trust exists. I walk slowly along the bank of a river I have never seen before, yet somehow feel I have always known. The water moves steadily, gently, carrying everything in its path without resistance. Sunlight glints off the surface, scattering fragments of gold and silver, and the air is filled with the soft chorus of rustling leaves, distant birds, and the occasional splash of a fish breaking through the current. I take a deep breath, feeling the coolness of the air fill my lungs, and realize that this place is not merely outside of MIT, is inside as well, a reflection of the inner landscape I have carried too long. I kneel at the edge of the river and let my fingers touch the water. It is cool, alive, flowing with purpose, yet without hurry. Each ripple seems to speak to me, whispering secrets I do not yet fully understand. I notice the weight in my chest, the tension in my shoulders, the collection of worries, regrets, and unspoken words I have held like stones in my hands. Without thinking, I begin to release them, letting them slip from my grasp into the current. One by one, each thought, each memory drifts away on the river, carried gently toward a horizon I cannot yet see but trust exists. I close my eyes, imagining the river stretching endlessly, winding through forests, mountains, and valleys. It is not hurried, it does not cling, it does not resist, it simply moves. And in this movement, I see a reflection of the inner life I have been struggling to understand, so often tense, so often grasping, so often unwilling to let go. The river teaches me that to hold on is natural, but to release is necessary, and that the act of letting go does not signify weakness, but wisdom. As I sit beside the water, I watch a fallen leaf float by. It twists and turns, sometimes caught in eddies, sometimes carried effortlessly along. I imagine that leaf as a fragment of my own life, the moments I regret, the words I wish I had spoken, the feelings I have buried deep within. Each one finds its way into the river, and I realize that by releasing them, I am not losing myself. Rather, I am discovering a clearer, lighter version of who I am. I rise and follow the river as it bends gently around moss-covered stones. The path along its bank is soft, inviting, and I step carefully, aware of each movement, each breath. The sounds of the river are meditative, like a lullaby sung by the earth itself. I listen, letting its rhythm settle into my own heartbeat, syncing my inner pace with the quiet, effortless flow of the water. A small waterfall appears ahead, cascading over smooth stones with a sound both powerful and gentle. I kneel once more and let my hands trail through the falling water, feeling its coolness, its persistence, its grace. It is relentless, yet tender, and I understand that letting go does not mean giving up, but moving forward with patience and awareness, trusting in the natural currents of life. I imagine all the moments I have carried, all the burdens and anxieties that have shaped me. One by one, I picture them slipping into the waterfall, into the river, and being carried away. I feel the weight in my chest lift, the tension in my shoulders ease, the restless hum behind my eyes quiet. With each breath, I become lighter, freer, more aligned with the gentle rhythm of the world around me. I lie down slowly, letting the weight of my body sink fully into the surface beneath me. Every muscle softens as if melting into the support that holds me, and I feel the gentle pull of gravity grounding me completely. The world outside my mind seems distant now, fading into a soft blur, leaving only the rhythm of my own breath, the subtle pulse of life flowing within me, and the quiet presence of stillness surrounding me. I close my eyes and inhale deeply, allowing the air to fill every corner of my lungs, carrying with it the cool calm of night and the warmth of gentle awareness. As I exhale, I release the lingering tension, the last fragments of thought or worry that cling to my consciousness. With each breath, I sink deeper into the quiet, feeling the boundary between body and mind soften, dissolving into the vast, serene space within. I imagine a soft, golden light gathering at the center of my chest, glowing warmly, steadily. It expands slowly with every inhalation, reaching outward, filling my torso, my limbs, my mind, until it envelops me entirely. This light does not demand anything from me. It simply exists, a presence both comforting and powerful. I rest in it, letting it cradle me, letting it guide me deeper into the gentle currents of sleep. As I breathe, I become aware of the subtle rhythm that surrounds neither whisper of wind, the distant murmur of water, the slow cadence of the universe itself. Each sound is a thread weaving into the quiet tapestry of my consciousness, a lullaby of the natural world, inviting me to release, to surrender, to drift. I am not rushing, not resisting, simply allowing the currents of calm to carry me. I feel the sensations of my body more acutely now. Each point of contact with the surface beneath me, a reminder that I am supported, held, and safe. My feet, my legs, my arms, my shoulders, my neck, and my head, every part softens, every part relaxes. The tension that once lingered there is no longer needed. I let it dissolve, letting the stillness of this moment permeate every cell, every fiber, every breath. I imagine now a vast, tranquil lake under a moonlit sky. Its surface is smooth, reflecting the stars and the gentle glow of the moon. I see myself lying at the edge of this lake, floating effortlessly, embraced by the calm of water and sky. The ripples are few, barely moving, and I realize that even if they appear, they do not disturb the depth beneath. My mind mirrors this lake, peaceful on the surface, boundless and still below. I feel a gentle warmth in my chest, radiating outward with every heartbeat. It is the echo of all the stories I have journeyed through. Tonight, the bamboo grove, the silent mountain hermit, the compassionate monk, the river of letting go. Each lesson, each whisper of wisdom now integrates into the essence of who I am. I carry their calm, their presence, their quiet understanding. and let it blend seamlessly with the stillness I inhabit now. I imagine the air around me filled with a soft, soothing sound like the faintest chime or distant bell. Each note resonates gently, vibrating through my body and mind, encouraging further release, deeper surrender. Thoughts may arise, fleeting and light, but I do not engage with them. I watch them pass like clouds across the sky, letting the current of stillness hold me, guiding me gently toward rest. With each breath, I become more aware of the rhythm of my heart, slow and steady, a constant companion in this journey of calm. I follow its pattern, letting it synchronize with my inhale and exhale, a dance of life that requires nothing from me but presence. I am supported, I am safe, I am ready to drift. I picture a gentle hillside, cloaked in soft moss and wildflowers, leading to a quiet forest. I walk barefoot along a narrow path, feeling the texture of earth, the cool brush of leaves against my skin, the warmth of the setting sun fading into the horizon. Each step is deliberate, calm, mindful. I feel the serenity of this place seep into me, carrying the wisdom of nature, the lessons of life, and the quiet clarity of the present moment. I reach a small glade where fireflies dance in the dim light. Their glow, gentle, fleeting, like tiny stars at ground level. I sit, feeling the earth beneath me, the air around me, the sky above. Each exhale carries away the remnants of tension. Each inhale brings a soft wave of tranquility. I am fully present, yet fully surrendered, aware, yet drifting effortlessly toward the edge of consciousness where dreams begin to stir. I feel my body becoming lighter, my mind softer, thoughts slowing, words dissolving. There is no hurry, no pressure, no expectation. Only this moment, only this stillness, only this gentle, infinite flow. I imagine that I am floating, cradled by invisible currents, moving without effort, guided by the quiet intelligence of life itself. I picture a single candle flickering in a quiet temple, its flame steady, illuminating the darkness with a soft, warm glow. The flame does not judge, does not demand, does not reach for anything beyond itself. I see my own awareness reflected in this flame calm, present, unwavering. I let myself merge with this light, carrying its warmth and stillness deep into the core of my being. I become aware of the subtle vibrations of life within me, the gentle pulse of blood, the expansion and contraction of lungs, the slow rotation of the earth beneath. I feel the interconnectedness of everything, my body, my breath, the stories I have encountered tonight, the river of letting go, the teachings of the bamboo grove, the wisdom of the hermit and monk. All are threads in a vast, luminous tapestry, and I am woven seamlessly into it. I allow myself to drift gently, naturally. The currents of stillness carry me. The soft light cradles me. The rhythm of life sustains me. There is no destination, only the flow. I feel every cell, every thought, every breath surrendering, releasing, integrating, aligning. The boundary between wakefulness and sleep softens, becoming a gentle gradient of calm and awareness. I imagine a quiet night sky, stars twinkling with distant brilliance, the moon casting a soft glow across silent forests, rivers, and mountains. I float beneath it, weightless, expansive, fully embraced by the gentle expanse of the universe. The lessons of tonight, the wisdom of the stories, the quiet reflection of every breath now reside within me as a luminous core of peace.